not only do we need to protect our children from the traffickers, we also need to protect them from those who are stealing their future. You can ask a question.
Talking about, let's talk about child trafficking. Tell me about that.
This is a big worry for us in the special needs world. Reason being, our children will not be able to call for help. Yeah, most of them. And then once they're in the hands of a kidnapper, they are very compliant. They'll follow rules. So we have incidences whereby a child has just been picked, most likely by even somebody they know, and they've never been seen again. We have cases where even kids are being looked for 9 years later. We are lucky to have Missing Child Kenya who helps us track kids when they disappear. But it's in the back of every parent, special needs parent's mind, that this is a probability. And that is why at Through the Roof and ADAT, we really campaign very hard. Keep your child off social media, because you've just told a prospective pervert, a prospective rapist, a prospective child kidnapper where your child is.
Yeah.
And where to find them. So if you tell us your child goes for hydrotherapy at this place, your child goes to this school, is picked by so and so, this is where you live, you keep, social media, I can pick your trail of your child.
Like the digital footprint.
Yes, and that has conclusively been used on 2 cases to actually kidnap a child. Yeah.
Like this kidnapper had nothing to do with that child, nothing.
Yeah, they just pick them off the social media print. And you see, once if this begins here in Kenya, then it will become a trend very soon. Yeah. And also, like, if your child is, say, let's say, kidnapped and molested, the law does not respect your child as a source of evidence. Even if you take the DNA kits properly, they will drag you through court for a very long time, simply because the Penal Code Article 16 of the Constitution of Kenya, which needs to be repealed under no circumstances, all circumstances, calls my child an imbecile and an idiot before the law. You see, you're not recognizing their human rights. And therefore, for them to communicate, they have to communicate through their caregiver or their guardian. What makes the law think I can talk better for my child than my child can talk for themselves? It's time the law protected my child and every other special needs child from any prospective harm. Yeah, and trafficking being at the top of the list, and then medical abuse, because you find kids are dragged with no really good reason. And then also the education system needs to protect them, because it doesn't protect them, then we have glorified very expensive babysitting services called schools. And then by the time your child is 18, you're handed over an adult with 0 skills, can't take care of themselves. And that is why the biggest question, maybe we'll tackle it another day, is where do we have too many children with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. Where are the adults? They do become adults. Where are the adults? They become unmanageable because things weren't done right, and therefore the only solution a parent has is to lock them up, put them in a forensic jail, tie them up in the compound, put them in a padded room. So at the end of the day, the community health services cannot even help you. And while the worst scenarios I've heard of is homicide, because there'll be no postmortem.
Why won't there be a postmortem?
Who will ask for it? Yeah. And then it is a person with a special needs, and the way the society behaves is, you're very lucky. In fact, you can take your child to school. What is lucky about that? It's a basic human right for my child. It shouldn't be about how lucky I am. The rights given to a neurotypical child should also come to my atypical child, without having to ask their access or how they're going to do it. And not only do we need to protect our children from the traffickers, we also need to protect them from those who are stealing their future. Be they a teacher who takes money and doesn't do their job, be it a therapist who doesn't do their job or does the wrong job with them, be it that doctor who doesn't explain it to the parents what's going on and just medicates their child and doesn't want to be held answerable for explaining. Sometimes I think, yes, the doctor, you're overwhelmed by the number of patients walking through your clinic, but you owe a minimum decorum of dignity to explain to that parent in the simplest of languages why you've put their child on medication and why there's no other plan B. Yeah. And then the other one that would also protect the child is ensure the parent's psychological capacity and even their mental capacity at any one time is at best. I've only had one doctor ask me, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I deal with this 24 hours, 7 days a week. Sometimes I can't even wake up because I'm that tired. Sometimes I don't even make it into my bed. Yeah, because by the time I'm finishing what I'm doing, my child is up or my child has refused to sleep, which is cyclical. But you turn up to work. I've had that question asked to me, why are you coming to work drunk on a Monday morning? And I'm thinking, seriously, you just looked at me and saw a drunk human being. I haven't touched alcohol since I was in campus. But my boss thinks I drank, and I'm drunk, and I'm disrespectful of my job. And when you try to explain to him about autism, he tells you that is in your head. It doesn't exist. Yeah. So there has to be that protection that goes beyond trafficking of everything that is our special needs children. Yeah.
Okay, and for a parent who is watching you, and possibly they've just gotten their first diagnosis, because as a first parent with a child who has special needs, that's a handful, and they don't know what to do. What can you tell them? Or what can you tell them?
My first advice to any parent who's gotten a diagnosis, congratulations. You have a diagnosis, you have a goal now to deal, and you have a target on how to help your child. My first advice to you would be find a parental support network. Through the Roof is one such that is all over Kenya. Whether we meet you physically or not, we'll meet you on social media and we'll find you the nearest parent. Yeah, so that you guys can even have a homemade get together where you share ideas and you can ask questions. The other one is you are your child's everything. You'll be your child's fighter, you'll be your child's single cheering squad, and it can get tiring. All I can tell you is don't give up. Don't give up. You'll be tested in ways you have never been tested, even by the people you trust, the family members, including the spouse you had that child with. At the end of the day, it's you and your child and your God. So don't give up. Find a network that will support you. And denial is good, but don't stay there. Get out of it. Because if you're stuck there, by the time you get out of it, your child is gone. Yeah. And you're not the first special needs parent, and you're not the last. There will be very, very, very many more of them. So just take it in your stride. It's just like being born a different tribe, yeah? In Kenya, we have 42 or 44. So you're the 55th tribe of the country, special needs parenting. And one parent to another, welcome to this awesome club. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't give up.
Throughout this interview, you've been mentioning ADAT. Please tell us a little bit about ADAT.
ADAT is an acronym that stands for Others Dream Autism Trust. The founder of this is, a name that a lot of us in special needs know, Jackie Mathaga, professionally Jacqueline Mathaga. ADAT is a platform that was created in 2016 towards giving advocacy and support of knowledge, information dissemination, and also policy change towards special needs. Originally, it was targeting autism because that's what the mother was dealing with. But over time, she realized there are many more disabilities there that are feeling the same pinch as her. And therefore, ADAT incorporated all the others. ADAT is the mother to Through the Roof. Yeah. While ADAT works on the policy issues, Through the Roof works on the parental network, where there is that psychosocial support of each other so that we can be better parents and take care of our children better and share information. ADAT will be advocating, be it with the government, international bodies, getting interactive and even bringing doctors on board. 2 years ago, Kenya did not have a neurodevelopmental pediatrician. Now we have about 3. And that is because members of ADAT have been advocating, staying in touch with these doctors, and even telling them why you should come back. Yeah, one of them was definitely coming back, but the rest have come back because the parents have advocated. I look to a point whereby through ADAT, some of the things we are doing is ensuring special needs parents do not lack food and medication, where the laws and policies are being changed to support us. Because you find even within the disability framework, there's segregation. A physically disabled teacher will get tax rebates to get their assistive devices. But I cannot get the same, yet my child will need them. I have a child who can't stand noise, so I have to buy gun range noise blockers. They're not cheap. Yeah, and have to be technically made for her, that they will filter noise, not just block everything out.
Yeah.
So when I'm importing that, I pay 100% tax. When it comes to diets of most special needs kids, whether you like it or not, you're going to be on supplements. These to us are medicines and assistive devices. Like there's a group called PKU2. PKUs require a certain supplement to stay alive within our group. During this COVID, one tin of 400 grams to land in Kenya was 54,000. You need 4 tins a month. When there's no COVID, one tin land in Kenya is 5,000. Yeah, so ADAT works towards helping each other and trying to find the resources. They have an MOU and a long-term plan, which is one to have a halfway home and also a training platform where autistic and other developmental can actually work and earn their own income and live independent of their parents. And they would have to do that in a controlled home. So those are some of the things that ADAT does. And I know one day you'll meet Jackie and interview her, and she'll tell you much more in a more beautiful way, because it's her passion and her. Yeah, I volunteer as a compliance and programs officer for ADAT. Yeah, so when you see ADAT has a feeding program, we're currently looking for grants and donors so that we can be able to provide, especially for that person who has no income completely, a way out for their child. Yeah, because even if you're going to a public hospital like KNH, you'll still pay some money.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a place whereby when you pick that phone call and it's a parent at the A&E of Kenyatta Hospital or Kiambu Hospital, and they need 1,000 or 600, you can pay bulletin. Yeah, or the point where the government will say, as long as you're disabled and you have your registration, treatment is free or it's subsidized in these hospitals. So when that happens, ADAT will have met some of its mandate, and hopefully we make life better for the next generation of special needs parents. Yeah, that will essentially be some of the things that ADAT does. But I hope you get to meet Jackie, interview her.
Forward, actually, too.
Yeah, and she can tell you much more.
All right.
Yeah.
So for a parent who is watching and they'd like to join through the roof, how are they going to find you?
Okay. For any parent within the country or out of the country who would like to join Through the Roof, the first step would be to search Through the Roof in the full words on Facebook and request to join. You can send a private message on IM to Through the Roof or to ADAT. ADAT is Others Dream Autism Trust on Facebook. You can IM me on Messenger. I'm Jane Mwiruri on social media. And you can also IM Jackie Mathaga. Jackie spells Jaki. And any of us seeing that message on inbox will reach out to you and we'll see which is your nearest platform, as well as if you want to move to the WhatsApp platform, then we can migrate you. Also reach out. If you just search the word autism and parents in Kenya, you will find a lot of parents. Unfortunately, most are ladies, or fortunately. So whichever you reach out to will guide you. We are a family that supports each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that is it for today. We hope you have learned a thing or two, and we also hope you have been encouraged, especially if you are a parent who has a child with special needs. And until next time, bye.